All right, guys, this is another CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. I'm your host, Nick Qualley, sitting here with Mike Molyneux. All right, so again, I did not think this was going to be a show. No, you know what? Okay, a couple weeks ago, if you asked me, I did not think that we were going to be talking about the Patriots after Wild Card Weekend, their season being done. I really did think that they were going to, you had to beat the Dolphins. You had to beat the friggin' Dolphins to just get that pass to the divisional round and make the Chiefs, maybe the Chiefs lose. Maybe we're talking about the friggin' Chiefs this week. That would be great, but we're not. We're talking about the Patriots losing 20-13 to the Tennessee Titans, to a Ryan Tannehill-led Tennessee Titans team, a Mike Vrabel-led Tennessee Titans team. 72-yard passing for Ryan Tannehill on Saturday night in Gillette Stadium. He did it in your face, in your mouth, in your home stadium. Well, look at this now. Patriots done. So, what else can we do now? Look at the offseason. There were a lot of problems with this team throughout the entire year. And we've talked about this on past episodes. One thing with the Patriots is they improve throughout the year. December, you don't want to play the Patriots at Gillette Stadium. December, you don't want to play the Patriots at all. January comes around, divisional round, you better watch out. This team's going to smack you around in the divisional round. They're going to walk into the AFC Championship game. Clearly, there were some issues with this team that prevented that from happening. So now we're talking about this. Patriots offseason. Looking at the roster, looking at how this year unfolded, looking at the issues. Mike, what are the team's top priorities? What should the team's top priorities be as they head into this offseason? And plus, throw in with this, Tom Brady, free agent.
I've said this over the last couple of seasons, and even as the Patriots had success winning, Super Bowl against the Rams, they beat Atlanta. Unfortunately, they lost to the Eagles, but they still made it to the Super Bowl. One thing that I've said over the years, once Brady reached, 39, 40 years old, uncharted territory, one thing that I've always preached over and over again while the team was having success, as Brady gets older and he, still shows that he has something left in the tank, the best thing you can do is put the best possible talent around him. Now, yes, we've seen Brady years ago in the 2010s. He's been a great quarterback with some sucky talent. We've had seasons where who are these guys out there with Brady that he's passing to? But Brady's still, younger, had a solid arm, accuracy, is making things happen for the most part. But this is a guy who's starting to age. And he never was the fastest guy and most athletic, so him scrambling wasn't really an option. But again, this is a guy starting to age. The running's not going to be there for him, and the arm is obviously not going to be the same. This team, now more than ever, especially after how 2019 went, this team now more than ever needs to put talent on the offensive side of the football. Brady, like we've said in a previous segment, still has something left in the tank, obviously. If you watch the Patriots in 2019, Brady still has something left in the tank. But his options, his weapons, is not something that you should give a 42, 43-year-old quarterback. Even as great as Edelman has been over the years, he's starting to fall off. He can't
led the league in drops.
Led the league
11 in drops.
Edelman's great, but he can't be that maybe number one option anymore. He needs to be either an option B or a 1A. I don't know, but he can't be that top guy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This Patriots team needs to look at how this season unfolded. Belichick, Kraft, whoever guys, what other guys that Belichick has around him helping him make decisions. You have to get this team talent. And they showed a glimmer of that earlier in this season when they said, hey, let's go get Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's available. Let's put him on this team. They had it there. Early in the season, even coming into the season, we all thought that, okay, now this is an offense that we can really work with. Obviously, Gronk was out the picture, but you Edelman, Josh Gordon, Demaryius Thomas. Then you go Edelman, Antonio Brown, Josh Gordon.
And that was before we knew Antonio Brown was a crackpot. Or we knew he was a crackpot. We just didn't know he was as big of a crackpot as he is.
But as the season progressed, the offense, the weapons that Brady has started to diminish. And then on top of that, you look at, the trade deadline and possible moves to be made. What tight end did the Patriots try to go get? Nobody. You had options out there, wide receiver, who to trade for. I still don't know why Emmanuel Sanders is not a New England Patriot, but that's a conversation for a different day.
That made no sense.
The Patriots need to look at this offseason and say, okay, we're going to bring Brady back, but obviously we can't have a 43-year-old Tom Brady who still has something left in the tank throwing to undrafted free agents and rookies. It just can't happen. And a 33, 34-year-old wide receiver, it just can't happen. You have to put talent around this man, whether that's the wide receivers that he has as weapons and then offensive line as well. Instead of drafting, wide receivers that, you don't really know what to expect, and a running back who never touched the field, or try to just draft young, strong offensive linemen that can do a hell of a job protecting this man. That's just where I'm at in terms of how this team can improve, looking at next season.
Yeah, and you're going to probably need a left guard next year, because if you do bring Tom Brady back like we think that they're going to, if you bring Tom Brady back, you're probably not going to be able to afford Joe Thuney. He is going to get paid. Joe Thuney.
I love Thuney.
Thuney was the best offensive lineman on the football team all season. It's not going to shock me if he becomes the highest paid guard in football. That guy was a tank this year. Unbelievable. Before we keep going, guys, we all know how a VPN protects your privacy and security online, right? But I didn't know this until recently because I'm a moron, and it's taken my TV watching game to the next level. You can use a VPN to unlock movies and shows that are only available in other countries. Something I found out on Twitter, there are different types of shows, different American shows on other Netflixes in different countries like the UK. Like I think I saw like that Nickelodeon show iCarly, that's apparently on the UK version of Netflix. I don't know, but you can watch that if you use ExpressVPN. You spoof your location, make it look like you're in the UK. You can watch shows that are in the UK Netflix library. See, ExpressVPN hides your IP address, and it lets you control where you want sites to think that you're located. You can choose from almost 100 different countries, so just think about all the Netflix libraries that you can go through. Love anime? ExpressVPN to use ExpressVPN to access Japanese Netflix and be spirited away. But it's not just Netflix. ExpressVPN works with any streaming service, Hulu, BBC iPlayer, YouTube, you name it. There are hundreds of VPNs out there, but the reason I use ExpressVPN to watch shows is it's ridiculously fast. Worst thing ever is when you're streaming on a TV is when it starts buffering, because you know it's not going to stop buffering for the next 5 minutes at least, if it ever stops buffering, unless you have to shut it off and reset it. It's the worst. There's never any buffering or lag, though, with ExpressVPN, and you can stream in HD, no issues. ExpressVPN is also compatible with all of your devices, phones, media consoles, smart TVs, and more, so you can watch what you want on the go or on the big screen wherever you are. If you guys go visit our special link right now, expressvpn.com/beat, you can get an extra 3 months. That's 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. Support the show, watch what you want, and protect yourself at expressvpn.com/beat.
Yes, sir.
All right, so there's a couple of housekeeping things that the Patriots have to do this offseason. One, you have to bring back Tom Brady, and only because I don't think that you have anybody else in the pipeline. I don't trust Jarrett Stidham. I don't think Jarrett Stidham's the next guy. You don't have, draft somebody. If Tua falls to you in the draft this year, you take him in the first round. You have the 23rd pick. If Tua somehow falls to you in that first round, it's probably, he's hurt. If you can trade up and get him, get him. I don't care who it is. Draft another quarterback. I don't trust Jarrett Stidham.
I will say this, not to cut you up. I'm sorry.
What?
This is the year you draft the heir to the throne. There's
this solid quarterback draft.
This is it.
So you re-sign Tom Brady at least for a year. If Tom Brady comes back, it's probably going to be for 2 years. It's going to give him that option, I would assume. Number two, you call Rob Gronkowski. You say to that guy, get your ass back on the field. We'll pay you whatever amount of money you want. You don't even need to catch passes. Just throw blocks. Just be a blocker. Just do something for us. Just take away attention, because that was a huge issue this year with the Patriots. We talk about this all the time with Rob Gronkowski, was when he was on the team, he might not have been as effective as usual, but he always had eyes on him. He always had either one or two defenders who were focused on him, because you know that he was such an elite threat that even though he took a step back, he could still absolutely shove it down your throat. You didn't have that this year, so that means everybody was swarming on your best receiver, the only receiver who could create any kind of separation.
34-year-old guy.
Julian Edelman. You got to beg at Rob Gronkowski to come back. But the more realistic option, like you said, you got to get more receivers. Oh, you have to make a deal for this.
Veterans. They don't have to be top-notch,
Not an old broken down one, though.
Just veteran guys who've been around for a little bit.
Like an Emmanuel Sanders, who you could have had at the trade deadline this year. Emmanuel Sanders. You have to make a deal for somebody to strengthen this receiving core. Give Tom Brady some kind of weapon. Because like I've said on a prior episode discussing Tom Brady and whether or not he's coming back is one of the key issues that Bill Belichick and the Patriots are going to have to use to lure Tom Brady back on a deal that might be a hometown discount. I know it's reported that he doesn't want a hometown discount, but if you can show him that you're getting him targets, he might be willing to take a hometown discount that would help you build your roster. You got to get some kind of receiving threats, some kind of targets that are going to at least help his case. Because again, Tom Brady definitely took a step back this year. Nobody's denying that. I think Tom Brady this year was really bad at several times throughout the season. Tom Brady was putrid at several times throughout the season. But a big problem, a big reason to that was because he didn't have any targets. He didn't have anybody to throw to.
Rookies.
He had rookies. He had Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers, who was like, he was a nice story. We were excited. We were like, this guy, cool. He seems like he's doing something. He disappeared off the face of the earth. Tom Brady said, get out of here, you dummy.
Should have seen the field on a Super Bowl contending team.
Yeah, N'Keal Harry just never really showed up. He showed flashes here and there, but he never showed up. Meanwhile, DK Metcalf is looking like a stud out there in Seattle. You could have had DK Metcalf. Get another target. You have to get at least one target, because Edelman's already posted on his Twitter. He's coming back, whatever. Squirrel emoji. I guess he'll be back for 2020. So you have him coming back. I don't see him taking a giant step back. He'll probably take a little step back. You have to get a top-tier target who's going to create separation for you and at least give Tom Brady somebody to throw to. Because even that play on Saturday where Ben Watson ended up catching the ball, it was Ben Watson over the middle, where Brady had to scramble all the way to the right. He had, 10 seconds to throw the ball, and nobody was getting open besides your old-ass tight end who retired literally after the game.
He didn't waste no time, man. Waste no time.
Yeah, so you have to get a target. If you don't get a target, this team's screwed again. We're going to be having the same exact conversation next year. If they don't improve Tom Brady's weapons, because we're going to assume Tom Brady is coming back here on this show right now. If they don't get Tom Brady any weapons, we're going to have the same exact show next year around this time, without a question.
I mean, if I'm Tom Brady, obviously I want to be a New England Patriot if I'm Tom Brady. But I'm like, all right, I want to be here, guys, but you got to give me something to work with. You guys know my work ethic for the last 10 years and what I put in to get myself ready, because what I put in to get myself ready has led to 6 Super Bowls for you guys. So, if you know what I'm willing to put in for my craft to help you guys be a successful football team, you got to give me something to work with. I can't work with, sorry, he loves Ben Watson, great guy, great story, but his guy's about 45 years old. Sorry. Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers isn't even on my list. I've got the receivers list right here. I wrote Edelman. This is what you go into net with next year if you don't make any moves. Edelman, fine. Mohamed Sanu, wildly disappointing. One of the worst trades Bill Belichick has ever made.
We'll give him a training camp under his belt, hopefully.
Second-round pick for Mohamed Sanu, who did almost nothing. Okay. All I heard about Sanu, by the way, before he showed up to this team, this guy doesn't drop passes. It hits him in the hands, he's catching it. He dropped a lot of passes this year. A lot of passes. And then N'Keal Harry, I'm not ready to call him a bust yet, but he might take a step forward. If you add a top receiver, a good receiver, who's going to give Tom Brady somebody to throw to, your team will automatically be better, without question.
Yeah, you got to add 2 solid guys to that list. You need 2 solid guys added to that list. If you can get 3, sure. If that third option is a pass catching tight end, sure. But you got to add 2 or 3 guys to that list that you just gave there that are not rookies or have been in the league for a couple of years now.
Eric Ebron. I mean, I just bring that guy in. I don't know. I don't care. Yeah,
nobody's going to be Rob Gronkowski. We know that. But you got to have options there for Brady to make plays with.
Yeah. All right, guys, that was another CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. Again, Nick Quaglia, Mike Molyneux. So we got no more games, but the show's going to keep on rolling. I guess we're going to be entering the point of the season. We got a lot to talk about in the next coming weeks. The show's going to be rolling through the summer, so you guys aren't losing us. Sir. Don't worry. Don't you worry. If you want us gone, guess what? We're not going to be gone. We're going to be rolling all the way through the summer up until next season. So, guys, stick with the show. Again, Nick Quaglia, Mike Molyneux, Marv will be back next week. Guys, CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. Thanks for watching.